Holy shit, I'm huge. Okay, so, this video. Who do you want to be, bro? Who do you want to be? Right now, hold on, let's see if I can... Alright. You can't really see it, but I'm eating a steak here. Beautiful 1.2 pound steak, not to go Jewish mode on you. And a Chipotle bowl. So, who do you want to be? I know you may not love me, you may not respect me, but I know what I'm talking about, and I believe in myself more than you do. So wherever you're watching this from, wherever you're sitting, you could be sitting in Florida with explosive fucking muscles, eating steak every single day. Look at this giant fucking steak. Beautiful. Delicious, everything, right? I'm in the sun all day. I have the life that I dreamed of. I have everything that I want. Sure, I have bags under my eyes. Sure, my hormones are perfect. But I wake up every single day, and I promise you, I literally do whatever I feel like in the moment, every single minute of every day. I stopped smoking weed. I switched to like 1 organic cigarette per day. Actually, some Negro gave me a Newport today. But basically the life that I dreamed of is having complete freedom and being able to do whatever I want. So I moved down to Florida. I got a commission-only sales job, which I don't really take that seriously. I barely work at all. And I spend all of my time being as shredded as possible. So, the point of this video is you might not have the same goals as me. You may not want to eat steak every single day, you know? But because I wanted this life and I was just so frustrated and what's the word I'm looking for? I was unsatisfied with the life I was living up north in Boston. I had nothing to do, so I filled my time with entertainment, with smoking weed all day, doing nothing with my time, not creating any content, just wasting my time, indulging in pleasures and entertainment. And it was just soulless. Hedonism is a black hole. It's just like, yeah, I enjoy myself now. Sure, I have strengths, I have weaknesses, I have rewards I indulge in now. You know, I can enjoy the pleasures of life. But it's different when you were one of the most powerful, one of the strongest humans walking this planet. If you train hard every day, you don't have to worry about like a little vitamin C. You don't need cigarettes don't matter. Tobacco, nicotine doesn't matter. If you were in the top 1% of fucking power on this earth, do you understand? So, the mistake that I made when I was living at my parents' house was I placed all this attention and all this power, and I kept thinking about and dreaming about the weed and the weaknesses and the rewards and the pains and the negativity. And one of the truths of this world is you're not going to get what you pray for. You're not going to get what you dream about. You're not going to get what you're attracted to. You get what's attracted to you. Think about it in high school, you know. Did you get the girl who you really loved, who you were attracted to? Or in high school, did you get the girl that was attracted to you? You know, I was a victim of this. I fucking did things I shouldn't have done. You know, I got into relationships I shouldn't have gotten into. I wasted a lot of my time. I damaged my reputation. I fucking made a lot of mistakes that I regret by becoming familiar with people I never should have allowed into my life because I had no standards and because I was tolerant of being average and all this boring, wasteful, degenerate, just living in sin, right? So, you may not look at me and think, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't have a perfect life, but the one thing I can promise you I've perfected is repeating behaviors and making them completely subconscious and effortless. So here's the thing. If you can do something with no conscious resources, with no effort, you've mastered it, right? So I've mastered doing push-ups, drinking coffee, going to the gym every day, eating steak every day. I have made it a habit, I've made it a routine through constant repetition and constant iteration towards a fully aligned life. So it's ones or zeros. There's things that are gonna bring you closer to your goal and things that are gonna move you farther away. And it's like, if you have a clear goal of what you wanna be and who you wanna be, it's actually so easy to make decisions. So in reality, yeah, I had dreams and aspirations. Yeah, I understood that I wanted a different life than I was living, especially up north in Boston. I was living at my parents' house. It was very stressful. Like, my mom just yelled at me all the time. I deserved it. I was being a lazy piece of shit, you know? Like, what else was she gonna do? Be like, good boy, Liam. Keep smoking weed and sitting around like a fucking worm. It's like, God did not create you so you could sit in the same place consuming. Do you understand? You know? Do you understand? So, I may not have a clear plan of what the next 5 years of my life are going to look like, but I have, what's the word I'm looking for? I have a delusional amount of self-belief. That's what I have. I have a completely illogical amount of confidence in myself. So that didn't happen by accident. That didn't happen from me spending all of my time indoors, inside, sitting around, consuming social media. That's never going to get you anywhere except for backwards. So one of the greatest things I did to become the person I wanted to be is I raised my standards. And what raising your standards look like is not being tolerant of just wasting time, you know? I can't count the number of times where I have sat creating something on my computer, writing something on Twitter, typing something down, and watching everybody in my external environment sitting back, all relaxed, flaccid, consuming, scrolling, eating. And it's just like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Like, what are you actually trying to get? Like, literally ask yourself, what is it that you are really trying to get? And if I'm honest with myself, this whole time I was trying to get control over my habits and my behaviors. And sure, maybe I'm the most schizophrenic man on the planet. Sure, maybe I'm the most insecure man on the planet. And maybe I fucking destroyed my brain with drugs. But maybe, just maybe, I've gotten cooked enough to become the perfect amount of fucking delusion. Do you understand? So, you can allow others to tell you what to do. You can tilt your head back and give up and fight and just wham. You can fucking complain about your situation that you wish was different. Or you can be silent and you can change it. There's nothing stopping you from walking to a bus station, getting a bus to the other side of the country. It's like fucking $50. It's like, if bus tickets are not expensive, it's $100. That's like 10 minimum wage hours. You're telling me you could move to the other side of the country and all you had to do is work for 10 hours, buy a bus ticket and go? It's like, you are one decision away from being a completely different person for the rest of your life. Do you understand? So, I'm not saying you have to be like me. I'm not saying you have to copy me exactly. But I am saying if you want to be a different person, if you want to have a different life, if you want to change, all you have to do is change your environment. And I left from Boston, I drove all the way down to Florida to sell solar door to door, and then I drove to Oklahoma to sell pest control door to door, and then I drove to Colorado, and I only lasted a week there. Fuck Colorado. It's actually paradise. It's like only white people. It's paradise. But then I drove from Colorado back to Florida. And The one thing that I would say I've learned across all of my travels, I've been all across the world. I flew myself to fucking Warsaw, Poland, and to Amsterdam. I put on a fucking 3-piece suit. I was fucking buying people steak dinners. I wasted all of my money. I was in tons of credit card debt. And the one thing I've learned from traveling everywhere, from having all these different experiences, from having the most horrible, painful, truly hell on earth addiction you could ever imagine, and also becoming the most powerful, compelling, influential person I have ever met. The one thing you have to remember is that all of your experiences are relative. Happiness is the difference between expectation and reality. If you tell some children, oh, I'm gonna give you some candy after dinner, bro, if you don't give them candy, they're gonna like go apeshit. You have to set your expectations. You can't break your word. The one thing that changed my whole life was I stopped just setting goals and having these crazy expectations. I said, you know what? Let me just try. Let me just attempt with absolutely no expectation of what the outcome might bring. Every single solar deal I've ever got, all the money I've ever made, it was always, let me not worry about the expectation. Let me not really care about the end result. And then magically, it's almost like God is listening and that God is actually real, and it's not a coincidence that on the United States dollar bill it says one nation under God. And in the Pledge of Allegiance in school, do you remember in school when you sang the Pledge of Allegiance every morning? You said blah blah blah, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the something America, one nation under God, for which it stands, for liberty and justice for all. One nation under God. Every single civilization has a holy book. Every single civilization has a belief system. They all believe in God. Do you think that's for no reason? Do you think that you, being an atheist, or believing in science or technology or fucking magnetism or matter, it's like, the belief is the most important thing you could ever have in your life. Do you really think it's a coincidence that the government did thousands of studies about the placebo effect? That sugar pills, sucrose, the chemical, can literally, it's sugar. If the patient believes it's going to cure them, it's been clinically proven to cure cancer. Do you understand? It's like, it's the belief that makes it real. And do you know what you are telling the universe? Do you know what you're telling your subconscious mind and your soul and your psyche when you lean back into that couch all fucking flabby and you start scrolling and you start eating? The only thing you are signaling to the universe, you are trying to attract with your magnetic fucking energy inside of you, you are signaling that you do not have gratitude for that present moment and that you would rather be somewhere else. I'm in beautiful sunny Florida, you know? When I lived at my parents' house in Boston, going to college, working a slave job, I literally was a slave. I would I would haul trash. That was my old job. And you really have no choice but to fucking smoke weed all day and fucking scroll on TikTok to escape your reality. That's the only way I could stay sane. I came to a realization that the only way I could see myself being successful was when I smoked weed. That was my escape. That's what kept the dream alive. It's what kept me sane. And like, the only thing I was missing was something better to do. If the President of the United States came up to you, knocked on your door, and said, I need you to come to the White House, it's a matter of national security, you'd probably stop scrolling. You probably wouldn't, let me hit the dab pen, let me fucking waste all my time. No, you would go to the White House, bro. The only reason you have the life you have right now is because, for some reason, those are your standards and you are tolerant of that behavior. Become more intolerant, become less tolerant, become higher standards, and that's going to help you. I can't tell you what your goal is. I can't tell you who to be. You can be a big, fat, globulous, obese Jabba the Hutt, and you can sit inside all day consuming social media and scrolling on TikTok and playing video games and just being a fucking disgusting worm. You can do that. If that's your goal, if that's the truth in your heart of who you want to be, pursue that. I can't stop you. But if you think that maybe, just maybe, we were designed in perfection to live in alignment with the contents of the universe, and you think that we are supposed to live outside in the sun all day, we evolved to have explosive forced production and to be moving every second of every day and eating like fruit and steak and rice and actual good foods? Or do you think we were evolved to sit inside air-conditioned rooms, breathing recycled air, consuming disgusting social media content that convinces you to not be grateful? That's it. Grab your Bible, grab your balls, and go to the gym. Get more shredded.